Hello everybody, E here. Welcome back to another Stephen King Theorist short story review video. I gotta work on something to kind of condense that down. But yeah, I'm E. I do theories, Stephen King theories, connecting his entire universe. I have several. Well, I have over 70 videos just in the Stephen King Theorist, but now I'm working on just the short stories. I'm going one by one, and yes, I have done theory videos for the short story collections as a whole. I have never broken down how each and every story ties into the Dark Tower or the Stephen King universe in general. Just to be clear, every story my challenge is I have to connect it to the Dark Tower. The Stephen King universe in general is just the icing on the cake, as it were. Alright, so today we're talking about the second story in Night Shift. This is the CD edition. I don't buy from Cemetery Dance anymore, but that's the double day edition. I have yet to go out. This is the same day from last week's video. I'm just recording all these at once. So when I do finally go in and get it, I'll show you guys that one. But I have a short showing it off already. Anyway, so today we're talking about Graveyard Shift, which is the second story in here. And like I did with the last one, it's very easy to just say, hey, this connects to Salem's Lot. You know, let's move on from there. You know, and Salem's Lot connects to the Dark Tower, so let's move on. By the way, these videos are full of spoilers, so if you don't want any spoilers for any of Stephen King stuff, not just this collection or this story, but all of Stephen King stuff, I suggest you click away now. Alright, so Gates Falls is located near Castle Rock. I never put that together, I never noticed. And Jerusalem's Lot is in Castle County. It is mentioned in this collection. All those things are mentioned. But Gates Fall being near Castle Rock is mentioned in this story. It's mentioned, but Gates Falls is like mentioned all over the place, and this is another thing that I never caught. It's mentioned in The Dark Half, Bag of Bones. In the story, It Grows on You. Pretty much everything that mentions Castle Rock or Castle County. Recently, it's been mentioned in novellas Rat from If It Bleeds, which I find hilarious that it's mentioned in Rat, because this Graveyard Shift is about giant rats. I mean, did he do it on purpose? Who knows? But it's also mentioned in Mr. Harrigan's Phone. In Mr. Harrigan's Phone, the protagonist, the boy who meets the old man, he's going to Gates Falls High. Here I was thinking that this town, Gates Falls, was like a one-off, and he never used it again. But he's been using it his entire career. The mill was built in 1897, but there's a box underneath in the sub-basement where the second half of the story takes place from 1941. Let's see here. I will leave a link down there in the doobly-doo, because there's a whole bunch of ways that Gates Falls ties in to certain stories and whatnot. Gates Falls is very popular in the Stephen King universe, and even I had no idea how much. So I will leave a link down there to the wiki that tells you every single connection. Some of them don't serve any purpose here, so I have mentioned the ones that do serve purpose. Here's my theory for this story. The giant rats and the legless, winged creatures, the ones that don't have the hind legs or anything, I have a theory that they are creatures from the Prim. There are illustrations in the Wastelands that show these creatures. And I'm going to show them off in the short that I eventually do for this one. In fact, it might go live the same day that this one goes live. But there are creatures that are winged with tails that look very reminiscent. It's like a bat-rat kind of spliced together is what they look like in the illustrated versions of the Wastelands. Now, where am I going with this? Think of the illustrations in the Wasteland. Giant winged creatures without legs. I believe there's a thinny in the sub-basement. There could be a thinny in the sub-basement, or there could be a thinny in Jerusalem's Lot where these things are getting through. So the literal rats in Graveyard Shift, I feel the new mutations are creatures from the Prim. They've come in through there, so on and so forth. Actually, I will leave the images that I'm talking about if I can figure out a way to put them into the video. It should be as easy as just, you know, like I do with the book covers, but we'll see. I'm also not sure about copyright, so I really don't want to put it in this video. I'd rather do a short, so I'm gonna do that. I believe there's a thinny in the sub-basement. There's a locked trap door that locks from the underside, so someone knew about this place. If you remember also, in It, there's a door. There's an old-timey door where there shouldn't be one. There is an old-timey door here where there shouldn't be one. One of those ones with the ring handles, all that, you know, just boards, the iron struts, and the ring handle. There's one of those here. Okay, now, peep this. Remember how in my Tommyknockers and my It, I told you that I believe that the aliens from Tommyknockers and Dreamcatcher are literally the same type of creature as Pennywise. Also, they're the same, we'll be talking about this when we get to it, in the story Gray Matter is another instance of this. Gray creature. Here's a description from Graveyard Shift. It was a huge and pulsating gray. Eyeless, totally without legs. Think of the weasels, the dookie weasels, okay? A huge and nameless thing with progeny whose progeny might someday develop wings. A huge and nameless thing. Come on now, come on. You with me? I hope you're with me. This is the kind of stuff I nerd out on. But again, these are all theories. We're just having fun here. That's it. If you want to believe the theories, if you want to go in with the theories, that's fine. I'm not saying they're facts. It's okay. It's not Factual Friday. It's Thursday Theorist. I love how this story is about a smart person doing manual labor. And I'm going to put this in my review, but here at the end, I do love that, you know, because Stephen King was that. He was, before he started teaching, before he was a college professor, he was doing these menial jobs. And I love the idea, not that the people like this don't exist, but I love that he points out this type of person, the educated blue-collar worker. I love that. And I wish that was more, I wish that was something that more people had pride in now. You know, I wish that people read as much as they used to, so on and so forth. But yeah, this is one of those stories where I think I'm on to something. Reading let's see here, Jerusalem's Lot, and now reading Graveyard Shift, I feel like I'm starting to put even more together, and it feels like I'm reviewing Black House all over again, where by the time I got to Black House, it was like, it's almost like King was in my, wanted to show you, hey, all this stuff does connect like you say it does. But I honestly think it's just fan service. But he wasn't working on that stuff back then, and he needed someone, he needed an advisor to work on Dr. Sleep, because he forgot all about what happened in The Shining. By the way, that person, I believe, has a book coming out. I can't remember the name of it. I'll get back to you guys. Talk to my buddy Josh and see if I got that screwed up or not. He'll let me, trust me, he'll let me know. Anywho, but let's go back to, I forgot one thing. The zoning board for the mill, for the town of Gates Falls, was set up in 1911, which is in line with the Jerusalem's Lot timeline. Remember, every 61 years in Salem's Lot, something bad happens, so on and so forth. That's when this one occurred. But check this out. Look, let's go back up here. So there's a box down there from 1941. So the mill, or whatever was below the mill, would have been there and been active in 1950 when the events of Jerusalem's Lot happens. Oh, I love it. It gets me going, man. I love this stuff. All this stuff coming together. But yeah, I know he didn't do this on purpose, but it is so cool to me how all this stuff can be connected in a logical way. Yes, and I call it Stephen King Theorist, because this is like conspiracy theory type stuff, but for Stephen King. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. As long as we all sit back and realize that none of this stuff is true, there's nothing wrong with these theories. Until Stephen King comes out himself and says, hey, look, Edward Lorn was right, or E was right, or whatever, all this stuff connects this way, we'll never know. And I promise you, that's never going to happen. But yeah, it's so much fun going back over these stories now. Graveyard Shift is a great story, and I miss these creature features from King. I think that's part of the thing. I think it's one of the reasons why people say that once he got off the drugs, he wasn't as good anymore, because he had this wild, uninhibited imagination, and nowadays he's just writing really bad and boring thrillers. Like he's trying to be Harlan Coben, or, any of these other guys out here, the ones with like 17 twists at the end of their book, where it just gets ridiculous by the end of it, like Lee Child and all them. I don't want to say James Patterson, because both of those authors, Lee Child and Harlan Coben, write better than Patterson, but yeah, it's basically, it gets so much, but that's beside the point. What I'm getting at is, I wish that he did more creature features nowadays, because I miss those stories. I miss the It's. I miss the Graveyard Shifts. I miss the Tommyknockers. I miss all those things. And I hope that there's more of that. I hope he brings that stuff back in the third Talisman book, which we are getting. It's been confirmed. It's done, and we're getting it. I don't know when, but I'll be as soon as I know, y'all will be the next to hear. I promise. But yeah, what did y'all think of Graveyard Shift? Let me know down there in the doobly-doo. I'm sorry these videos are kind of rambling and all over the place, but I'm excited. So, and I also have the Redux series, so if I plan to redo them, I can cut them up that way. But let me know what you're thinking about this new series so far down in the doobly-doo. Also, let me know what you thought of Graveyard Shift or any of Stephen King's stories. What's your favorite Stephen King story? I don't care if you put that down there. But engagement matters now. I don't care about subscribers. I never have. But nowadays, it's all about comments and follows and... not follows. Likes and comments. You engaging with the content helps out the channels. All of us. That's why so many people have changed from, hey, like, comment, and subscribe. It is just like and comment now. So go to your favorite creators, make sure you like it, make sure you comment something, and you have to use actual words. I'm sorry. I love you, Sarah, and everyone else who does it, but just, a couple book emojis doesn't cut it. You got to use your words. Anywho, but that's it for this time. That's all the time that I have. I'm going to go in, cook dinner, and relax, because I have been out here making like 17 videos today. You're going to see this shirt a lot. But anyways, until next time, I have been E, you have been you. This has been another Stephen King Theorist short story review. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye!